Prophesy, Papa. I'm seeing you looking at somebody. You are taking care of somebody, like your sister.
My sister.
Now you they take care of her.
Yes, sir.
And the children.
Yes, sir.
How many children does she have?
2 girls.
Eh?
2 girls.
Can I stop you? God said I should tell you, those 2 girls, they are your husband's children.
So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. A first glance at Funke Akindele gives the picture of a funny, jovial, lively, cheerful woman, the jester in the room kind of woman. But her life has not been all fun and jest. Funke has had her fair share of life's blows, but in all of it, she has stood tall, strong, and resolved. 46-year-old Funke Akindele, popularly known as Jennifer, is a well-known Nigerian filmmaker, actress, producer, and now politician. She's an indigene of Lagos State and was born and bred at the Ikorodu area of Lagos. Funke Akindele was born into a middle-class family. Her mother was a medical doctor and her father was a school principal. Funke got her primary and secondary education there in Lagos, and then proceeded to the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic in Ogun State to obtain her OND. After obtaining her OND, Funke proceeded to the very prestigious University of Lagos, where she pursued a degree in law. Funke is surely an educated lady, but despite her degrees, Funke had eyes for only one profession: acting. Funke's sojourn into Nollywood was not a walk in the park. She was dealt several blows, hits, and disappointments. She has recalled on several interviews how she would go from audition to audition to audition under the scorching sun and in the rain, sometimes going by foot because she didn't even have money for transportation.
I got a lot of no's. No. I attended auditions. If you are looking for queen of audition, it is me. Queen of Waka Pass, it is me. Moi et me.
She had recalled severally how she would go for auditions and put on her best show, confident that she will be picked, but much to her disappointment, she would never be called.
I can remember crying, so I was so down. I wanted to give up. A lot of auditions, a lot of no's.
And even when the roles began to come, at best what she was getting was what was described as Waka Pass role. You know, these insignificant roles where you just play a very non-consequential character in a movie. That was Funke's lot when she just joined Nollywood.
And I'll be so excited. Even the producers, they'll be clapping for me. The director, they'll be clapping. And I'll think, okay, by the time I check the list, I'm going to get maybe the supporting role. But lo and behold, church extras, my name number 2.
But was she deterred? No. Funke kept going and pushing, believing in her dreams and pursuing them. Well, just like they say, persistence, consistency, and hard work always gives the desired results. And in good time, Funke began to see the light at the end of the tunnel. In 1998, Funke got a major breakthrough that would kickstart her journey into stardom. The United Nations sponsored a TV series called I Need to Know. Now guys, if you know of this series, if you watched it, NTA 2 Channel 5, NTA 2 Channel 10, can I see you, the 70s and 80s, maybe 90s brothers and sisters? Can I see your hands down in the comment section? Gen Z, please step away. Thank you. So if you watched this TV drama, let me know in the comment section. So the I Need to Know series was a United Nations sponsored program targeted at creating and increasing awareness of the issues that teenagers face during puberty. Funke Akindele bagged one of the lead roles, playing BC in that series. So this program ran for 5 whole years, from the year 1998 all down to 2002, and Funke remained a major cast all through the 5 years. She was handsomely paid for this series, and it was her belief that after such a groundbreaking breaking records that she had made on that series, she would never have to struggle. The sky will be her limit. But she was wrong. So when the I Need to Know program came to an end after 5 years of airing, Funke, to her greatest shock, hit back to rock bottom.
After I Need to Know, no more roles. You see? No more. I went from down. Went back to attending auditions, lobbying, calling people, knocking on doors, but none opened.
It almost seemed like she was new again in the industry. Nobody was calling her for anything. So Funke had to start all over again from square one, attending auditions, taking up insignificant roles, and canvassing for opportunities. And guess what? They were not coming. Funke became so downcast and demoralized. She was close to giving up. But luckily, her mother stood by her and kept on advising and encouraging her. And she kept on pushing. She kept on taking roles in both the English and the Yoruba movie industry, trying her best, working day and night. And finally, another big break came calling. Funke produced her first movie, Ojo Ketela. Then in 2008, she struck raw gold when she starred in her groundbreaking comedy movie, Jennifer. Funke played the role of a local champion trying to fake the impression of someone who was born with a silver spoon, and damn, she ate that role and played it so perfectly well that the whole world fell in love with that character. That movie recorded great success and even earned her an award as the best actress in a leading role at the African Movie Academy Awards in 2009. 3 years after the movie Jennifer, in 2011, Funke proceeded to release The Return of Jennifer. And damn, it was as if the heavens were open for Funke. That was also a hit. Omogeto came in 2010, which was also a major success. Guys, the hit was coming back to back. These movies ultimately gave birth to her record-breaking series, Jennifer's Diary, which commenced in 2015 and now has more than 25 seasons produced. Jennifer's Diary is watched and enjoyed all over the world. Finally, we could say that Funke's hard work was indeed paying off. Her box office movie, Omogeto, The Saga, which she co-produced, became the highest grossing Nollywood movie of all times after raking in more than 468 million naira in its first month only. Can you beat that? Her latest movie, Battle on Bukka Street, has raked in over 135 million in West African cinemas alone. And in addition to all of these success, Funke is a brand ambassador to so many brands. She's a brand ambassador to Dettol, Molfix, Kellogg's, Iroko TV, Wow Detergents, Keystone Bank, Amen Estate, and a lot of others. Guys, make no mistakes about it. Funke Akindele is a wealthy woman, a self-made boss lady. She had fame, she had fortune, she had a blossoming career, but there was one human need which still needed filling: the pursuit for love. Funke Akindele was 35 years old at the time when she took her first leap into marriage. That was in 2012. Funke was convinced that after recording all of this success in her career, after building all of this legacy for herself, after acquiring all of this wealth, fame, and success, it was overdue for her to find a decent man and settle. Funke had admitted in an interview that she was so pressured, she was so carried away. All her friends were getting married. She wanted to have her own children. She felt she was late. It was time to start a family. She let the pressure get the best of her.
I just wanted to get married. I want to do things right, have children, and all that pressure. And I went into the marriage.
And so she met and married her first husband, Alhaji Kehinde Oloyede. Alhaji Kehinde, CEO Kenidu Nigeria Invested Limited, was a businessman and a politician. He was the son of the Iyaloja, that is the head of the market women at Oshodi Lagos, Nigeria. When Funke had announced that they were now an item, a lot of people didn't show as much excitement as she would have expected. You see, Kehinde is a devout Muslim, an Alhaji, matter of factly. And Funke, on the other hand, was a staunch Christian. Her and her mother attended the Mountain of Fire Ministries, MFM. So people couldn't fathom how a Muslim Alhaji and an ardent Christian, an MFM worshipper, would make an item and make it work in a marriage. They felt that the differences in doctrines and principles and way of life was enormous. Secondly, Alhaji Kehinde had already been previously married and had children for the other woman. So people were not really happy that Funke would start to meddle herself and get intertwined with baby mama drama and all of that. They also doubted if she will ever be able to cope with the I am a Muslim man, I am entitled to marry one woman every Eke market day. They doubted if Funke would really be able to cope with the polygamy that comes with Muslim men. People were skeptical about this union. But you know what they say? The heart wants what it wants. Funke Akindele proceeded to marry Alhaji Kehinde. They tied the knot in a lavish wedding ceremony in 2012. And what could we do but wish them well? But sadly, and can I say almost expectedly, that marriage crashed the very next year in the most shameful and scandalous ways. Funke was at a location on this fateful day, walking and shooting and doing what actresses do, when she began to get calls from left, right, and center commiserating with her on the crash of her marriage. And she's like, what are you talking about? Apparently, and of course without her knowledge, her husband Alhaji Kehinde had taken to social media, his Facebook page, to announce that his marriage to Funke was over.
It ended in a very bad way. On social media, the noise was everywhere. Yeah. I was actually filming and somebody called me and told me I wanted to die.
Can you imagine Funke getting to hear of the end of her marriage on social media after others? I mean, the public got to find out that she was no longer married before she got to find out. Boy, oh boy, Funke was broken. She was devastated. She was suicidal. She was crazy. She was crying. She asked God to take her life. She couldn't bear it. She cried. She cried a river. She was embarrassed. She was ridiculed. She was disgraced. She was shamed. Well, with the wise counseling and care and nurturing from her mom, Funke began to pick up the pieces of her life and get back on track. Her way of coping was to drown herself in work. Funke says she would work morning, afternoon, and night and not give herself any opportunity to mourn or dwell in what had befallen on her.
I didn't let it break me. I channeled it to work. I was just collecting all the scripts in the East. Any script they give me.
She used the work to distract herself from her pain. So that, my dear brothers and sisters, was how Funke Akindele's first marriage ended. It bore no children. And although she has admitted that she went into the marriage due to societal and peer pressure, her and her ex-husband never addressed the nitty-gritty of what caused the breakup. She just cited irreconcilable differences. Well, Funke continued with her life. Man no die, man no routine. Giving her work her all, drowning in her crafts. Guys, you have to give it up for Funke. When it comes to hard work, Funke does not have a single lazy bone in her body. So she gave it her all, kept on achieving. She became a 3-time winner of the prestigious African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. She has a plaque from the African Movie Academy Awards and another by the Nigeria Entertainment Awards. She has gotten over 20 awards in her career time. She is that moving train that refused to be stopped. That same year, when Funke Akindele's marriage crashed in 2013, Funke met a man, Abdul Rashid Bello, popularly known as JJC Skills. That man would eventually become her second husband. Now, according to JJC, Funke was in search of a director who would direct her series Jennifer's Diary. And as fate would have it, her sister introduced him to her. He had admitted that he felt this tingling in his stomach, heart, kidney, liver. Everywhere was tingling when he first met Funke, a feeling that he has likened to love at first sight. And he said that she felt the same way too. And despite concerted efforts to keep their relationship on a professional level, their emotions ran high. And it wasn't long before these two began a romantic relationship. So while dating in the initial stage of their relationship, they both decided to keep it hush-hush, away from the public, away from the media. They were simply not ready to let the cat out of the bag. Well, if you do not know JJC Skills is a Nigerian man born in Kano State. He left Nigeria to the UK when he was only 14. He fell in love with music and started a music career over there, forming a group called JJC and Forward 9. Do you know that group once again? Drop in the comment section if you do. He is famous for his hit single, We Are Africans, which became an Afrobeat sensation, an Afrobeat anthem. He was a producer for the Big Brothers musical group, and he has produced big songs like Weird MC's Ijoya. Ijoya. Let me know if you know that song again in the comment section. JJC Skills has been in the entertainment industry for well over 2 decades. He has 3 children from 3 different women. So can we go back to the story? So Funke and JJC Skills continued their work and their love affair. And in 2006, 3 years after they met, JJC Skills felt enough is enough. Enough of the games, enough of the hiding, enough of the hanky-panky, enough of the baby don't lie about us, and you don't lie about us. Hello? Enough of it. It is time to man up, come out straight, and let the world know about us. It's time to make it official. Truly the helpless romantic he describes himself as. On this fateful day, Funke Akindele came home to meet flowers everywhere, candles, rose petals sprinkled around. And before she could say Jack, he got on bended knees and asked her to marry him. Guys, it was sweet, it was romantic, it was breathtaking, it was stomach tingling. And of course, Funke said yes. So they headed off to the UK where they had their destination wedding, and then they came back to Nigeria to continue marriage and work. JJC Skills by then had completely retired from music. He had totally left music, and his main job, or dare I say only job, was directing Funke's movies, Jennifer's Diary and In the Street. Only very shortly after Funke's marriage, the womb watchers, ovary police, and the fallopian tube monitors jumped on Funke's case. No. They didn't jump on her case. They owned it like a project. So yes, Funke was about 40 years old. She was in her second marriage and she had never had children. So it was only natural for those that love her to wish that she's blessed with the fruit of the womb. But the manner, the approach that people adopted while doing this was a lot invasive and pressuring. So while her fans, followers, friends and family were on bended knees praying to God to bless Funke's marriage with children, there came a devastating prophecy. Popular Nigerian prophet Olagiori of the Mountain of Blessing and Miracles Church, one whom many people described as a prophet of doom, revealed a prophecy about her. This prophet prophesied that Funke Akindele was destined to be rich and famous, but was destined never to have children. And the only way that that prophecy can be reversed is if she starts engaging in some very special prayers. He prophesied that her marriage to JJC Skills will crash and that she would have to get married to a pastor who would help her in these prayers. And that if she does not succumb to his advice, if she doesn't take to it, she was going to end up alone, single, and would have to adopt children. Hey, people were so enraged. They were like, what sort of prophet of doom is this? What kind of pastor is this? What do you mean that she has to marry a pastor? Are you talking about your pastor? Are you talking about yourself? Is Funke Akindele entering your eyes? Come out and confess. Let us know what your problem is. What do you mean by her marriage with JJC will crash? She has to marry a pastor? If you want to toast her, just come out with your full chest and tell her that you like her. So people started praying, rebuking, rejecting, casting and binding these prophecies on behalf of Funke Akindele. Her fans, wore their arm, they drew out their sword, went on social media, blasting the pastor. Even popular people, for example, Daddy Freeze, also took to his platform to reject such a prophecy and prayed for Funke and prophesied his own that Funke was going to have children. Well, very sadly, but almost true to this prophecy, Funke began to struggle with conceiving and keeping the baby. Funke was first said to have lost a twin pregnancy, which she carried to full term. That rumor or those words were all over social media then. Then after that, she was also rumored to have lost a triplet pregnancy at early stage. After all the struggles with trying to have a baby, Funke decided, along with her husband of course, that surrogacy was the best option. So in 2018 of December, 2 years after Funke and JJC tied the knots, they welcomed their twin boys in the United States via surrogacy. So there we were. It almost seemed like happily ever after can now begin. All that Funke had wished and prayed for in life was finally in her palms. She had wealth, she had fame, she had a very strong fan base, she had a husband who seemed caring and supportive from the pictures we were seeing. She had children. What more could she possibly have asked for? She felt fulfilled. She was happy, but there was more coming. The next scandal that reared its head happened sometime in June 2020. One of Funke's ex-staff, who used to work as a writer for her, took to social media to give a denting and damaging tell-all about Funke Akindele. According to Cassie, she warned people not to be carried away by that fun, jovial, boisterous personality that Funke puts up on air, and that she is nothing like the personality she portrays online. She claimed that Funke was a very mean, cruel, and abusive person. She described the period that she worked with Funke as hell or living in bondage. She said that Funke treats her staff like less than humans. She worked under fear and anxiety and duress and threats, insults that in fact Funke physically abused some members of her staff. She said that Funke will rain insults on them from morning till night, calling them unprintable names like fools, idiots, lazy human beings, that there was nothing they didn't go through in the hands of Funke, and that even when they fell ill, Funke took no care of them. She titled the video, Surviving Funke Akindele.
But yeah guys, if you're there, if you've ever worked with her, then you know that people suffer from verbal and physical abuse. I have witnessed her laying hands on somebody, and it's not just like, oh, you was that, it's like slap.
This revelation was greeted with mixed reaction. Funke's fans swung in to defend Funke, saying that Funke is a very hardworking person and it will be very difficult for her to cope with people that do not have that her energy, and that if they were not okay with the job, why didn't they quit? Why did they stay there eating salary and they didn't want to be productive? That the Funke keep them there in chains and bounds? They said that no Funke slander will be tolerated, while some others condemned the action of Funke and told people to be wary of these people that come online acting funny when in real life people that live with them are going through hell. They held that Funke had no right to maltreat people even if they're under her payroll. Funke Akindele made no comments about this. That same year in 2020, I think it's very safe to say that 2020 was definitely not Funke's favorite year. So in April of that year, in the heat of the COVID-19 pandemic, Funke threw a birthday party for her husband. and she had friends and neighbors invited to come and celebrate, eat and drink with them. One thing led to another, and the video of that birthday party made it out online. And boy, oh boy, it was greeted with an exaggerated level of backlash. People berated her for being a bad example, said that she's acting above the law, untouchable, endangering the life of others and frustrating the efforts of the government to curb the pandemic. The streets of social media had people with their placards screaming, "Crucify her." This agitation eventually led to Funke and her husband getting arrested. They were charged to court, and Funke and her husband pleaded guilty, confessing to violating lockdown order. They were sentenced to 14 days of community service. Funke described that experience as very painful and traumatizing.
I was arrested. Yes. In fact, I just told, when they said I should write my sister, I said, I wish I can just die. Let me just die so it will cover the whole thing.
But that was not the end of scandals in the life of Funke. There were major hits coming. As though corroborating the account of the lady who had described Funke as mean, cruel and insultive, Benito, Funke Akindele's stepson, the first son of JJC Skills from a woman abroad, took to social media to spill the unspeakable. So according to this young man, he claims that Funke Akindele is not who people envision or see her to be. He described her, in his own words, as a very horrible person. He said that he had lived in their house for 2 whole years and his living there was nothing short of a horror. He revealed that all was not well in one of Nollywood's most envied and admired marriages. Benito revealed that the couple cheated on each other and that his dad doesn't even live in the same house with Funke anymore, that he is literally living elsewhere. He said that their marriage was plagued with unending feuds and crises, and that Funke was a really, really bad person. So people processed all of this revelation with very big surprise. I mean, these are a couple that are always working arm in arm together, going periodically for photo shoots, photo sessions, appearing at events and gatherings together with all smiles, beaming with happiness, radiating with joy. It was impossible for them to believe that that was all a facade. A lot of people also condemned Benito for coming out to reveal all that was happening in Funke's house. They claimed that it was not in his place to divulge all of that intimacy to the public. They described him as a very silly and irresponsible child. Well, neither Funke nor her husband responded to that child's outburst. But what happened next will show that truly all was not well in the seemingly perfect marriage of Funke Akindele and JJC Skills. Sometime in June of 2022, Funke Akindele's husband took to social media to drop a bombshell. Let us read it together. Dear friends and family, I need to let you know that Funke and I have separated. While it lasted, we shared a lot of things together and have created 2 beautiful children. The last 2 years have been extremely difficult for us. I know I have tried my best to fix things, but I believe that it is beyond repair now. Months ago, and at Funke's insistence, I moved out of the house. And apart from AMVCA, I have not been able to get Funke to sit down in an amicable manner to discuss the future of our relationship. I'm making this announcement so that the public is clear that we are both pursuing separate lives. We still have issues that needs to be addressed, such as the custody and well-being of our children, which is paramount, as well as business interests, which needs to be disentangled. But I have no doubt that these will be resolved one way or the other. Again? People were like, again? This This was exactly the same fashion her first husband employed to call up the marriage on social media. And now again, what is the problem? What could have transpired? The first one on Facebook, the second one on Instagram. Who is it going to be on Twitter? I mean, 6 years and 2 children later, what are you guys talking about? Her fans were so devastated. So yes, a lot of people were quite shocked, because it wasn't long ago when we saw them arm in arm, sitting side by side at the AMVCA Awards. A lot of people were so shocked and sad. And guess what? Funke Akindele's stepson took to Instagram to drop a cryptic post. He said, "I said it." Well, Funke, in her usual fashion, chose not to comment about it. And JJ Skills, on the other hand, who seems to have an unhealthy obsession about marriage, has gone ahead to get married to another woman barely 9 months after he announced their split. A lot of people have shown their dissatisfaction about JJC getting married, in less than 1 year after he announced their breakup. I mean, have they even been divorced officially? Come on! This made people wonder if he was cheating all along in the marriage, suspecting that could even possibly be a reason why the marriage crashed in the first place. So yes, guys, that was the end of the marriage. Funke Akindele's second marriage with JJC Skills. And as though life was not done with her yet, a few months after that marriage crashed, Funke's best friend, her mother, passed on. Well, despite all of Funke's life's challenges, she still stands tall and unwavering, unrelenting in her resolve to live her best life. Bent but never broken, Funke has now taken to politics and is the deputy governorship candidate in Lagos State under the People's Democratic Party umbrella. Funke might just become the next deputy governor of Lagos State, one of Africa's biggest and blossoming cities. Funke Akindele, bent but never broken, strong in the face of adversity, tough as nails. She is that woman who never lets life's challenges define her. And that's, my dear audience, is it with our dear Funke Akindele. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, give this video a big thumbs up, and drop all your thoughts, feelings in the comment section. Stay glued for more, because we have so much coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now,